Greetings, welcome everyone to another prophecy. I'm Diadara, and I'll be joined by Raven Alexandria today to be talking about the forecast for the rest of the 2022 year, as well as different, just what's going on in this energy that we've been, going through this year and everything. So I'm really excited for this moment. And yeah, so let's get Raven Alexandria on from Sublimatorium and we'll jump into this beautiful prophecy for today. Greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to be looking at, all right, Raven's here. Perfect. Raven.
Hi.
Hey. Looking good.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you. Excited for another prophecy. So today we're going to be, like I was saying, we're going to be doing an intro of just kind of what we've been going through this year, just really brief. And then we're going to dive into the forecast for 2022. And then for our viewers, if you are joining us, we're going to give 10 free card pools. So definitely come, first serve. So if you have a question, you can write your question down, and then at the last segment, we'll get to you. So Raven, if you would like to open this up for the sacred
Sure,
space.
I'll chant a little Ganesh mantra.
Great.
Om Gam Ganapataye Om Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Om Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Om Namaha. All right.
Beautiful.
Great. Yeah. So the last time we talked, we spoke a lot about how 2022 was the year of the lovers. And so here we have the opposite of the lovers. Here we have the lovers card. Here we go. And so, yeah, we're going to bring this up some more today and go and have like a check-in and go into a little bit more depth about our realizations about the year of the lovers. And so it's the year of the lovers because it's 2022 and a lot of tarot enthusiasts and tarot practitioners like to add up the numbers in the year and then they assign a tarot card to it. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. And so the lovers is ruled by the number 6. So apparently that gives a vibe or a path to the year. And I don't know about y'all, but if you know anything about the lovers, I personally have been having a lot of realizations about the lovers. So I'm excited to go talk about that with Daya today. Thank y'all so much for joining. And yeah.
Yes. So, the lovers card. So let's just briefly talk about what that symbolizes for us. So for me, the lovers card or, in tarot world, it's usually about, it could be an actual lover relationship outside of us, but it also can be about contracts. It can be about decisions needing to be made. And I feel that being that the year of the lovers, a lot of us were very excited coming into this year. We were thinking, oh, it's the year of the lovers. And I'm sure, some of you guys have seen the lovers coming through in this energy. So for me, it was really about relationships, right? Relationships are very key in this year. Last year was the Hierophant, and, it was coming out of the pandemic and things like that. And so it was a lot of just restrictions and things like that. And the lovers card was a little bit more free, but it's also like a test of character. That's kind of what I was feeling a lot, because it's like, okay, what is a lover? Usually lovers are temporary or things like this. And so, yeah, a lot of babies are coming through, someone wrote. But yeah, so it's just like, I really felt it was like a test of character, showing us our values, our morals, and basically letting us see a mirror like within other relationships and things like that. So what do you feel for the year of the lovers? What are some realizations you've had?
Yeah, I had a lot of similar realizations connected to specifically relationships and how I understand myself in relationships, and it really made me think more about how relationships are mirrors. I think me and you were talking about this the other day, and while the Lover's card is typically associated with romantic relationships, you know, it can really be brought into other relationships as well, like connected to business partnerships, collaborations, you know, the relationship you have with your material things, the relationship you have with your values, and then also, like Dia was saying, inner relationship, the relationship you have with yourself and your character. And so there's three main aspects where you have like the relationship with the people in your life, and then you have like the internal, mental, emotional landscape of that relationship with understanding the lovers, and then you have the relationship with the environment and with the resources, and thus with the beings and the energies that are the personification of nature, with the resources that we use from this earth. And I've been meditating on all three of those things for this whole year, and now we're over halfway through the year. We're about to get to eclipse season part 2. Duh. And you know, it should be pretty interesting, I think, for a lot of people with the axis of Aries and Libra. And so the reason why a lot of the times, you know, like the lovers is about understanding your inner self, your inner relationship with yourself, and your inner dialogue and your emotions and your little feelings and your all of those things turn into your beliefs, and they turn into your habitual routines, which becomes your personality, which becomes who you are, right? What the world sees, your face. And so the opposite, your body, and the opposite of of this card is Aries. And so that's why Aries is the or you know, the opposite of the not the opposite of this card, but the opposite of Libra, where, you know, where Ketu is and where Rahu is. And so we have the lover's energy is being activated by that Libra energy as well, even though this card is ruled by Gemini. And what's funny is the Mars is retrograding in Gemini, which is activating a very Martian, Venusian, interesting relationship that we have to face some more this year. And so back to, you know, the year of the lovers also having an eclipse axis in Aries and Libra. That's major, you know, because we often don't think about our spirituality in relation to our relationships. And that's really what this year is calling for. And also how our daily lives and our work and what we do and for a living, how that affects our relationships. And that's why we have these two cards, the Sagittarius axis and the Gemini axis, being super activated. So imagine what's going to happen when the sun goes into Gemini when the sun goes into Sagittarius post eclipse this year. And I guarantee you, when the sun goes back into Gemini point next year, Saturn and Jupiter are going to be doing completely different things. And it's going to be like, whoa, you're going to be looking back on this time, maybe thinking there were some obstacles and you were in the thick of it. But if we can just get to Saturn and Aquarius, if we can just get out of these retrograde seasons. And so that's mainly what I've been meditating on. Did you want to talk anything more about?
Well, I think no, we could just keep on going. So, you know, with the idea of the inner relationship, someone brought up that this is like a big thing about what you're going through this year, is that inner relationship, especially if you are, you know, coming up against different difficult relationships and things like that, where we're just kind of having a really deep inner reflection, because these people are mirroring something to us. And I think this kind of brings up, you know, we talked about the snake in that Lover's card, right? And so that's like, you know, the Kundalini energy that we all have within us, all dormant within our spine, you know. And so we were talking Navaratri, and this Kundalini energy, this Shiva Shakti, so that Lover's card, it can even be the divine masculine, divine feminine coming together. And we talked a lot about this in our last prophecy, or 2 prophecies before, Devi and duality. And so right now we're in the middle of Navaratri, and it's the day 4, Kushmanda. And I think it's very interesting, just the climate that we're in, as far as just the divine feminine being on the rise and helping the divine masculine to come back into balance. And you know, we made this tie with the year of the water tiger. So not only is this considered the year of the tarot, the lovers for the tarot community, it's also the year of the water tiger for Chinese astrology. And so, as we should know, some of us that are here, Durga or even Kushmanda and these fierce warrior women who come to kill and slay these demons, they're riding a tiger, right? And so I feel like I was expecting, again, this year to be a little bit more in your face as far as like a lot of action, but it was such a more, it has been such a more inner looking within us. And I think that, you know, this is a really interesting tie that now we're in Navaratri and we're in the year of the water tiger, and we're really able to see like, what does this really mean for the collective? So do you want to expand on that, Raven?
Yeah, definitely. I'm right there with you with the water tiger surprise, you know, being surprised with how it turned out, because when the year began, I remember we started off with a Venus Mars war and a lot of, you know, conflicts between, you know, our values and how we use our impulses. And that's what Mars is, our impulsiveness, our lust, you know, our go-getting energy. And then Venus is that, you know, the more cooler, but also sensual energy. I have more activation of Venus and Mars, with Mars going retrograde and Venus being combust. A lot of things are going to resurface, you know, especially as Jupiter and Saturn start to go direct. And so that's really what the water tiger means to me. The water tiger has been swimming under the ocean, you know, under the water, and then it resurfaces to find the rabbit, to catch the prey, the water rabbit, for next year. And it's a lot of unexpected energy that's going to be coming by the end of this year. Things in your relationships, maybe people show themselves in a way that you weren't ready for in certain ways, but also in other ways of maybe they become a person that you didn't believe they could become. So having that faith, that Jupiterian faith right now, is the water that the water tiger is swimming in, as Jupiter is in Pisces. And we talked about how, you know, the tiger is about to leap onto the rabbit of next year, the water rabbit. And so we have to remember that we're still swimming. You know, we haven't gotten to land yet. And so we should be aware of our impulses. You know, the tiger has to be, you know, very, you know, he's not naturally in the water. So we have to see that we ourselves are being taken out of our comfort zones, but we still have to be the predator in a way, to focus on our goals and to catch our goals, because rabbits can swim. Not many people know this, but rabbits can swim. Look it up. and so there's a lot of unexpectedness, like, oh, I didn't know that. You know, it's like you don't expect it. So that's definitely my relationship with it. And when it comes to Navaratri, really understanding the meaning of having a non-binary relationship, you know, what that means, like having a relationship with being non-binary, or while at the same time acknowledging the importance of duality and how Achintya Veda Veda Tattva can apply to a postmodern queer theory, especially in the year of the lovers, whenever we understand that everyone is both masculine and feminine. But at the same time, like, how do we as queer people and queer friendly people, how do we, you know, sort of usher in this age of Aquarius that's going to come in, where we look at everything that we've done and really drive it home to maybe people who don't really appreciate queerness or transness and might be a little ignorant. Like, how do we, you know, let them know like what it really means, to where it's not about hate or these things, which is, to me, is like a true expression of Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, where, you know, we're still acknowledging that we're in this body, but we're not this body, and to where we can protect trans people and protect trans kids and all these things. To me, that theme has been coming up a lot this year. I'm starting to get emotional about it, but
it's okay.
And so we really have to understand what what love really means, you know?
Yeah, beautiful. I think just reiterating some things that Raven said, it's the year of the water tiger. It is about this very emotional space that we can enter. And it's about strategizing and planning. And this is why, um, as spiritual practitioners, we are doing our practice, right? Ultimately to help ourselves to find balance, right? Within our own energies of this masculine and feminine polarity, as well as help others to come into balance with that too. And I think that this is where we make a safer community, safer space for everyone to be able to dive into those waters, because again, the water is a very feminine emotion, it's a feminine feeling. And so I think that it's interesting, and we're going to go into the forecast now for 2022 as far as the different planets and what they're going to be doing for the rest of the year. But why is this important? It's because the planets, just like the moon, right? Because the moon has that water element. The planets are affecting us, no matter, if it's pseudo, whatever you want to call it, there is an effect of what the planets are doing to us. And so when we understand how the moon affects the ocean and the moon, and we
Yes.
are like the ocean within us, then we can see, wow, we're actually all connected to this universe. And this is why, with the year of the water tiger, maybe we thought we were going to be going and being more ferocious, but it was really just like be ferocious within yourself, be confident within yourself. And this is something that we want to drive with this live tonight. Is that we all have been tested in so many ways the last couple years, and it is all for us to rise in our purpose and to live ferociously our authentic selves. And this is, I feel like has to tie with that. And so let's jump into the forecast. I will just briefly say some things, and then Raven, you can come in and do your magic.
Okay.
So we're even in sorry. See, this is retrograde season. We've been in retrograde season for a few months now. Saturn has been retrograde and Jupiter has have been retrograde. What's beautiful about these retrogrades are that they've been both exalted because they rule. Saturn is retrograde from Aquarius to Capricorn, which in Vedic astrology, Saturn rules both of these. And Jupiter has been in Pisces retrograding. So a lot of times we don't hear about these retrogrades, and because they're so long, and they actually happen every year. But these retrogrades are very special because of their exaltation. Saturn gets out of retrograde October 23rd, so in a couple of weeks, and then Jupiter follows on November 24th. You want to expand a little bit on how that's affecting us, Raven?
Yeah, and so one more thing about the water tiger. So the rabbit is playful. And so maybe if we get through this year of the lovers and we make it to the chariot year, the year of the chariot, there can, be some sense of hope and joy. But I think that will come with strategizing. And a friend, Hema Chandra, mentioned Venusian love tempered with Jupiterian wisdom. And so I definitely feel that, like that being a strategy. Because Jupiter, I remember there was some Jupiter-Venus activity that happened over the summer, and I remember it felt so ethereal and so hopeful. So maybe we can, inspire some of that energy with Saturn and Jupiter as they go direct. Hopefully that can. Do we want to start pulling cards too?
Oh, we're gonna pull cards for the planets? Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can. Let's focus on Saturn and Jupiter. Definitely in 2020, we had the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in Capricorn. And so we've kind of been stuck in this little vacuum, in this little confinement of Capricorn energy. And it's almost like we just want to break on through to the other side of Aquarius. I know back in April when the first eclipse season happened, and it was a month of seeing what Saturn and Aquarius was going to be like. Do you remember when Saturn went retrograde, and then how the summer just sort of sucked us in, and
this year or last year? I'm like every year.
Yeah, it's gonna spit us back out. So on the other end of the eclipses, when they happen in October and November. So here is a Jupiter and Saturn card. Let's see. Oh, wow. So right now, if there's been any like reverse Six of Cups energy, like not fully being able to feel that grounded sense of you, like your inner child is happy and you can, have like light pleasures, like, like every day, like feeling happy with no heaviness, that could be because Jupiter is retrograde right now. And then I also pulled the reverse Ten of Pentacles. So just in general, right now is strategizing and still having discipline because we still haven't, fully come out of this yet. We're still having Mercury retrograde until, the end of, until October 2nd. And then Mars is going to go retrograde. And a lot of the, the energy is to, to be calm and to go slow and to strategize. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I pulled a card for the retrogrades and coming direct and things like that, and it actually just reiterates everything we're saying. It's from my sacred other worlds, my deck. It's number 30, Sacred Journey, and it says introversion, seeker, and self-knowledge. And I think this is a beautiful way of just talking about this year. If we have been on this path of go, do, and it's you haven't really been seeing the fruit of your work, or you haven't been able to see what it is that's coming from all your actions, it's because right now it's really an introverted time. And it's not necessarily physically, because right now we can go out, we can see our friends, we can do that. But as far as our spiritual practice, as far as our business growth and stuff like that, especially after Pitru Paksha, was the ancestor fortnight, it was all about going within. And even Navaratri, it's all about going within. So I feel like that has kind of been the energy of the lovers is, hey, find the lovers within you, right? Find that peace within you, find that balance, and so that you can, as the next year comes along and the chariot comes along, then you can just run straight into whatever it is that you've been planning and meditating and reflecting on this year. You want to add anything?
Yeah. Also, playfulness. Like I said, maybe people want to play more and they can't play right now. Just, adults play. Just how, like to do things just for fun. And really it's about getting out of those ruts that we get ourselves into and introducing those things on a daily basis, and having resilience, because a child, we consider a lot of, a child when we come into this world, with a child's eyes, you have a child's eyes. And with Jupiter being in Pisces, it's really about this card itself is really a Jupiter and Pisces type card. When it, and so it's about revisiting those things that make you feel happy just because you're here on the earth doing them. And then protecting that and having boundaries around that while balancing resources and maybe putting more energy into things that don't cost money, in a way. That's sort of what a child is doing their whole time. They're interested in, being a child. So we kind of have to get back related to that feeling. And sometimes it's hard whenever you have a job and you have to maintain the Ten of Pentacles. But really, community is what is supposed to be the wealth that we're working for when we go to a job. The money that we get at a job, really, that is replacing community. So how do we, as we go into this next part, of Saturn going to Aquarius, we need to somehow maybe brainstorm together as a community on how to create communities where people can live their dreams. I think that's going to be one of the major themes that people will see over the next year, really committing to that.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that. That's very right on. Do you want to talk about a little bit about Mercury, or would you like to let's go into eclipse season?
Let's see, maybe Mercury, since they're retrograde.
Yeah, so Mercury has been retrograde. It's also exalted, guys. It's in Virgo. Again, you guys, we are Vedic astrologers. We're going based off of sidereal. And I'm just briefly saying this because I know some people are like, "Wait, I heard Mercury's in Libra and it's going." No, no, no. We're looking at the constellations. We're not looking at the tropical. We have many prophecies about the differences of Western and Eastern. Astrology. So if you have questions about that, you can look at one of our old prophecies. So yeah, what we're going right now is things from NASA that can be proven by just looking at the sky. So it's been in Virgo, and it's going direct on Sunday. So, if you want to talk about a little bit of that.
Yeah, Virgo's doing so much for us. I mean, sorry, Mercury's doing so much for us right now. He really is, for a lot of people, holding up that combust Venus and stepping up. A lot of the times, like if you have like a planet that loses energy due to combustion or some other negative influence, another planet in your chart will come to the rescue and try to do their best to actually support them. Funny thing, right? Even the planets are working together. Sometimes they don't get along. So I definitely think Mercury is helping is helping people come to the realization of their true values, along with it being the year of the lover, and also with it being in Mercury's going to go into Hasta after it gets out of retrograde. So it's going to be going over where the sun is right now. So a lot of things are going to be repeating themselves, like things coming back, for you to check out that maybe you're not able to get to right now. So it's okay. Like if things feel stuck and delayed right now, just maybe have a positive mindset. Hasta is all about a positive mindset. Hasta is ruled by the hand, and the hand is like the mind. It's basically the extension of your mind. So, so really, really get into your skills over the next month and try to alleviate any obstacles just by your passions if you can, because you might be lucky in that way, but also just doing maybe the dirty work or the nitty gritty things that you have been avoiding. And you can manifest a lot if you have like a disciplined approach over the next month or so.
Yeah, totally. And just we're bringing up sun already. So let's talk a little bit about the sun, what it's going to be doing for the next 3 months. The sun right now is in Hasta. It's in Virgo. And so again, with Vedic astrology, most of the time where the seasons become like Libra season and Sag season, Scorpio and things like that, it's going to be usually in the middle of the month. So Libra season isn't until October 16th, 17th. Okay, so again, this is one of the bigger differences, that we are always calculating where the sun will be in the next period. It's not always fixed dates. But what is nice about these next three seasons, there will be October 16th, 17th for Libra season, November, around the same dates for Scorpio, and then December 16th, 17th for Sagittarius. So let's talk a little bit about that, about Virgo season, and we're coming up into Libra.
Yeah, definitely with Libra coming up, sun is not always happiest there. So yeah, it can cause like a little disturbance. Everyone has their own chart. Once again, where the sun is right now, you have to think about it. He's in Virgo. Whenever the sun is in Leo, he's the king and he's happy and he's chilling there. And then he has to leave his palace and go into Virgo, and it's like facing the public. And thanks Puneet. This is a great explanation. Puneet Astrology, check him out. He's amazing. He describes it such as the sun is in Virgo, he's facing the public, and the public will ask you questions and challenge you, and you have to kind of get your shit in order. So sun is doing that right now. So maybe a lot of us are facing that right now, and just seeing like what's not working, what's working. It's almost like that turning point in the year of the lovers, where you're walking on your little lover's path and you're going about your path, and path of Adam and Eve, evolving through your life. It's like this year is like a time of rapid evolution, and you'll see it next year. And some people think it came out of nowhere, but it's actually been happening this whole time as the darkness seems to get greater. So So yeah, so definitely as the sun gets into Libra, we're going to be aware of that more, and we're going to see, through the cracks more, through, through what hasn't been clear now, and things are going to start to clear up, and then, and can maybe bring a lot of things to the surface as well. So there's going to be the eclipse and bringing up past things, and so just being prepared, staying grounded. I pulled the Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. Yeah.
When I was talking about Mercury, and Jupiter is looking at Mercury this whole time, he's giving him like a benefic vibe. So there is like a lot of help out there. I think that the year of the lover is about opening up your heart and facing your shadows, and just saying like, okay, this is the shadow on the trail. It's like that spooky part in Lord of the Rings when the Hobbit, when he's in the forest and it's all scary, and it's like that too. And so, but yeah, definitely with Mercury and Sun together, we're going to be reevaluating things that work and don't work in our lives, and detoxifying is a good energy too.
Yeah. I pulled this card jumped out, and I feel like it's kind of just the vibe for this, like for the sun's journey, because again, the sun, it's our solar plexus, right? It's the one that's like getting us to do, to show ourselves, right? It's the light, the one that comes out of the shadows, or that one that brings light to the shadows. And so as the sun is going through its journey from Virgo, where it's at now, to Libra, where it becomes debilitated, it's like going in more into the shadows, right? Like, and then it goes into the Scorpio. And I bring this up because I'm getting number 11, Skyfire, messages, channels, and information. So and on the bottom of the deck, it's Temple of Dreams and Sacred Dreams.
What was that card again?
Huh?
What was that card again? Let me see.
This one is the Temple of Dreams. The other one,
dreams.
Skyfire. So yeah, so I'm bringing up Scorpio season, because so that's going to be in November, mid-November, and it says Sacred Dreams, Prophecies, and Dream Journeys. And I already got Sacred Journey. Guys, we're on we all know, right? We're on a sacred journey, but as Kali Yuga is getting more and more intense, as the internet makes the world smaller, it feels like everything is like on heat. And so as we go and move into Scorpio season in November, I feel like it's really, you guys have to pay attention to your dreams. You have to pay attention to the channeling, the messages that are coming. These are our ancestors. These are our guides, because especially as awakened people, when this world is filled with robots and cookie cutters and things like that, and we're trying to find our authentic lives, as the sun is changing, as it's doing its thing, as it does every year, this is nothing new, we are being more like, we're getting more in tune and in touch with us. And I feel like this is really going to be highlighted with the eclipse season as well, coming at the end of October.
Oh my God, yes. And then I pulled from my Alice Oracle deck, Keeping Up. There's going to be an energy of like, oh my God, things are changing. How do we keep up with this? So like I said, right now is a good time to prepare and to stay grounded. And the next card I pulled was Impossible Things. You pulled the Temple of Dreams. Guess what you have to do to get initiated into the Temple of Dreams? You have to believe in impossible things. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, you have to believe in impossible things, and you have to work through your disbelief. Saturn is going to support you to work through your disbelief, because when the sun goes into Libra, Saturn is technically the exalted one in Libra. So if you are pleasing Saturn, Libra will treat you right.
And how to please Saturn, pranayama, breath work, discipline, routine. These are all things that are going to help us in our lives. Someone is asking, what makes this year the year of the lover? So I'm guessing you missed our beginning. This year of the lover is because it's 2022, and that is the number 6, which makes it the tarot card, the lovers, right? And so we were saying it's not just, and again, this is our journey. It's our journey of not just feeling the love outside of us, the external love, but the love within us, the divine feminine and the masculine coming together. So if you're feeling some type of blockage in that area, it's because there's something within you that you kind of have to heal. And I think in eclipse seasons, we can go into that right now. We are faced with the shadows, right? The eclipses are being done by Rahu and Ketu, or the north node and the south node, respectively. You We don't see them in the sky, you know, but all indigenous cultures, they had this idea that there are these invisible forces that kind of devour the sun, and they create, or the moon, and they create a eclipse or a partial eclipse, meaning it blackens one side. These usually are in a, and I say usually, actually mostly always, they are inauspicious events when their eclipses are happening. You know, Vedic astrology, as well as indigenous people, they always go within even more, do your practice even more, maybe even fast as the eclipse is happening. So the first one we're gonna have is the solar eclipse, and it's gonna be in Swati in Libra, being created by Ketu, the tail of the serpent. And so, yeah, October 25th. How are we going to feel around that time?
Yeah, so the solar eclipse is definitely going to be affected by Venus. Just poor Venus right now is combusted, and, you know, it really depends on your chart, but relationships, contracts, you know, these types of things might be affected. So just be aware of that. And, you know, one of the best things to do around eclipse time is meditation and doing inner work. So if you want to help the process of the eclipse, you might just want to start getting rid of things you don't need right now. That's going to help. Decluttering these things, all sorts of things in your life. Things, you know, papers, people, whatever. You know, you need to basically start breaking those bonds if, you know, that's necessary. And it's because the eclipses are the eclipses are the shadowy nodes that will take those things away no matter what, or they will give, you know, the reactions of those things, which are our shadow attachments. So the less shadow attachments we have as going into the eclipse, or the more you're aware of it, the better prepared you are to handle what it's going to bring. So this is the card. I pulled the reverse King of Wands. Really being aware of repressed aggression within yourself and around other people is important, because there might be some frustrations. And also Knight of Wands right after. And I shuffle this deck all the time. It's, you know, there just might be like blockages. And I definitely know a really good thing right now to do is to get cleansings. If you have like a person that you know that, you know, does a professional cleanser, you know, go see a professional who can do a cleansing on you, especially if it's connected to like a person who really lives like an ethical life, you know, that you value. And to really get those cleansings right now is really important, and chakra cleansing, because it, like, there are blockages that's like causing, you know, not things to come as quickly as they need to come. So I got the reverse Eight of Wands. So you know, once the sun comes into that eclipse, it's going to be more aware of what those things are.
Definitely. So for the solar eclipse, what is you know, I was just with the intention of what is a deity that we can kind of call upon during this time from my Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power deck. And I got Pada, the ancient tantric mother goddess, origin of all goddesses. Mother energy pours forth life. So as we're all going, you know, and this is why it is so important right now. Okay. So there are a lot of things happening right now as far as like women rising to their rightful position. We have the Amazonian women who are fighting for their land and protecting it. Then we have the Iranian women who are fighting for their freedom as well. And so as we're going through this eclipse season, it just makes everything a lot more intense. And so we have to go into a mothering, nurturing ourselves. You know, this is so important, like cleanses, like detoxes. These are things that we do to help ourselves to, you know, recharge our batteries so that we can move forward with being lighter. And so I think that's kind of like Pada's, you know, kind of message right now, is kind of tap into this mother energy, especially as these eclipse seasons come through, and any obstacles in your, you know, in your life, chant to Ganesha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
I was going to say,
oh, go ahead. Yeah,
my bad. So sorry. I was going to say Vishnu too. Vishnu right now, the maintainer, because we're going to be cycling back and forth between this really Rajasic energy that sort of hits a Tamasic block, where it's like we have a lot of impulsive nature and we really want to get it done. We really want to focus on our goals, which is great. But Mars is going to go retrograde, and he's going retrograde in an area, and it's going to be in parts of the zodiac between Taurus and Gemini in Mrigashira, which is about attaining our desires and getting our fulfillment. So if we really want to get our fulfillment, we got to play a long game. I'm telling you, those who are playing the long game, remember back when Saturn and Jupiter were in Capricorn? We're wrapping up this whole little Jupiter conjunction container that we've been in. So long gains are going to come back, you know, once we are sticking to a plan. And so that's also how we exit the year of the lovers and enter into a more playful year, sticking to a plan right now.
Yeah.
Find that plan.
Find that plan and utilize the planets. Utilize what they're doing. If you know, when Mars goes in retrograde, it is not the time to just be rushing towards projects and completion things. When retrogrades are happening, it literally means that the planet has slowed down. And so that just tells us, hey, there's no rush here. Just slow down, you know, slow down, take care of your basic needs, make sure you're mentally sound, you know, when the eclipses are happening, you know, focus on the inner vision, you know, inner planning. And it's not about going around saying, hey, I got this plan, or this and that. It's really just about being with ourselves. And I think that these eclipses, always when the eclipses happen, this is what it's kind of doing. And so after the October 25th solar eclipse, we go into the lunar eclipse, which is going to be on November 8th. And it's going to be in Ashwini and Aries, ruled by Mars. And so again, we're just getting this like Martian energy that's telling us go forward. But Mars really, I have Mars at Makaraka. And one thing that I know, you know, it's about balancing our boldness and our courage. You know, it's like knowing when to act. And this is why Jyotish is very important in this world, in this day and age, is because it really helps us to know when should we act.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, because whenever we were talking about, you know, the Mars and Mrigashira energy, Mars and going retrograde energy, really, I pulled the Three of Wands reverse, which, let me tell you this, think about the rabbit. We've been in a year of the tiger, and the tiger likes to make big leaps, but, you know, he kind of likes to crouch and, you know, and stalk a little bit. So we've been doing that in several areas of our lives, you know, and learning how to be observant and seeing the impulsive reactions of others when they're pushed too far. So, you know, with the year of the tiger, as you can see in the news, just with aggression spilling over, dealing with tyrants, you know, and all these things like coming to a head. So as we enter to the year of the rabbit, the rabbit just hops a little bit. He just goes hippity hop, 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 hop. But you know what happens when you follow the rabbit? You find like a really cool place. You go down a rabbit hole, right? So how do we invoke this magic, this pure magic that's going to be in the air next year, just in the ether, magic, boom, 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 with Jupiter moving in, you know, into Aries and Saturn going into Aquarius, and us getting out of this end of the Capricorn Jupiter conjunction of, you know, 2020, end of that. You see what's been happening over the last 2 years, major endings, major corruption coming to the forefront, major changes. How are we going to be in the aftermath in the mini age of Aquarius? How are we going to do that? And that is playing small when we need to, but seeing big, but playing small, but seeing big when we need to. And like we said, like having that foresight, not, you know, engaging in it every day, seeing all the connections, you know, and it's going to bring material opportunities.
No opportunities.
If we're able to know what to do when we come across unexpected delays, expect unexpected delays, you know, like
Don't
not in an
surprised.
anxious way,
yeah.
But, you know, just being so cool with it already, like, okay, you know, and like, that's what's going to get you through this energy that we're about to get pulled through this vortex.
Yeah, that's really good. Just a reminder, guys, we are doing free card pulls at the end of this segment. We're probably gonna spend a little bit more, maybe 5-10 minutes before we do that. So please I saw one person wrote a question down, and please feel free to, if you don't have a question, you could just say, I want a free card pull, general reading, and we'll get to those, because that's what we wanted to do. Because, in the end, we can, maybe you guys are like, oh, I don't even remember anything you guys said, but you guys have to feel the energy. The energy is that we want to, give a positive message, because we know it's been really hard here, especially as spiritual beings, as people who are maybe entrepreneurs, or people who are trying to find their purpose. And I'm just going to end for my, my segment, and you can add anything else you want about, because we talked about Venus combust, we talk about Mars in retrograde, and obviously right now we're in Navaratri. And I think the same messages, it's just coming out in my cards right now. And I got when we're talking about Mars in retrograde, number 35, the pathway, direction, purpose, and change. Okay, so if you are being redirected, it's because right now where you're at is just not, that's not going to get you to where you need to be. So, if you find that like things are being like detoured, delayed, and things like this, it's because you're going towards your path. And Spirit wants you guys to, oh wow, okay, so I have the pathway, and then on the bottom of the deck, it was the path of the gods. And speaking of Navaratri, right, we're celebrating the goddess right now, and the goddess within us and externally, and it says decisions, which is very year of the lovers, meetings, and future plans. So I can't make this up, guys. This is what Spirit is saying for us to do. Do not give up. Do not just feel like it's not happening. Don't get too depressed. I know sometimes the season can make us feel like we don't have what we want, and we start to let that control our mental thoughts. And so Spirit is saying, hey, you guys, we're on the path. If you're here right now, if you're watching this we're on the path of the gods. The gods have set this path out for us to find our purpose, which is service. It's seva. It's being a service to our communities. It's being of service to our friends, our family. We're all servants. We either serve our nations, we serve tyrants, dictators, whatever it is, presidents. But in all reality, to serve the gods and the goddesses, that is that's actually our innate spiritual purpose. And we all are unique. Our seva, our service is unique. Not everyone is the same. So your seva, your gifts are for you. And so that's, kind of how I want to go into these 10 free card pulls. Again, if you just want a general reading, just write your name, say general reading. Go ahead, Raven.
Yeah, like you are rare and free. That's the motto for next year. You are rare and free. We all just happen to be rare and free people, on this planet together. And if we all could just appreciate that about one another, I think it would really end a lot of the conflict in the world. And astrology and understanding the nakshatras, the lunar mansions in astrology, is going to be one of those things that over the next 178 years is going to bring a revolution on the planet, where people see one another better. Like, we see you, like I see you, like how we say that in like a new age way. And this year is sort of like the springboard off of that. And we'll see it in the future when we look back to this time, when we see how bad it seemed. We'll look back. And so there might be a lot of uncertainty with that, but it's because uncertainty is just an invitation to find out a new part about yourself and your environment that you never knew before. And it's actually exciting. So that's what people who play the Vedic tradition, who understand the Vedic tradition, they understand Leela. And it's similar to, thinking of our lives being kind of like a game or a play or a movie where we're just here temporarily. And, if you've ever been in a play or anything, it's, you go off stage and there's some sort of camaraderie there between those players and being on stage with the audience. So being aware of these different aspects in our lives, being aware of how we treat those who take audience with us, and how we treat other players when, not everybody knows this information. So sometimes you're in the know with people, and then there's tons of people who aren't in the know with this information. So those who know a lot of what we're talking about right now, we're actually here for a purpose, and it's to usher in this age of Aquarius. So definitely, if we're here together in this moment, we're definitely some pioneers in the uncertainty of it all. So I'm excited to get into the questions.
Yeah, I love that. I'm just gonna piggyback on that. Being a pioneer, right? You said 170 years, and people are like, "What? 170 years? That's so long." Actually, in the span of time, it really isn't. And if you just really just think about life, it's so interesting because we're all caught up in like the future and like things like that. But if we just relish really in the present time and like, doing this with you, Raven, I always enjoy our conversations, our like weekly meetups and things like that, because it really does give me a sense of peace that, there are people that want truth, that want like this is really knowledge that we've been given through our practice and through our readings and through our teachers, that we want to share with others, because we know how important it is for all of us to be authentically ourselves. And so thank you guys so much for joining. Again, we're going to be doing free card pulls, so if you want one, I see people here and they haven't, we only have one question. So if you want just a general reading, put a little emoji, or, show us that you want to. Raven, I'm going to have you do the first one, which I think is my friend Melanie.
Okay, yeah, certainly. So I'm going to pull from my Alice Oracle deck first as like a general vibe, and then I'm going to go into the Rider-Waite as more specifics.
So she's saying she's coming out of a dark period and she feels like she took a detour. What do I need to see to get back on track?
Using your time well. You got the Cheshire Cat. So, and he's in front of a clock. So definitely a relationship with Saturn. And being in the moment, like Daya was just saying, practicing being present in the moment. Because if you think about it, you want to get back on track. And so getting on track, come to your center. Namaste. Being here. And then we progress on the path. So, and that has everything to do with time, and what you put your time into, what you put your energy into is what this card is saying. And let's get a little bit more details. Wow, Mercury wants to bless you. The Hermit, it's saying give in to that feeling of the shadow in a way, and let it heal you and let it nourish you and see what's there. But have that lamp of wisdom, that spiritual practice, maybe that friend or that person to lean on, someone, spirituality, something, an idea, an affirmation, a mantra, a walk through the woods, anything that can be that lamp of wisdom for you in this time. And you will come out wiser. You will come out wiser. You will feel like you have maybe you're living in a timeless moment of eternity and happiness and bliss, because the Cheshire Cat is there to assist Alice in her journey, even though he kind of looks like, wow, he's just smiling. Why is he smiling? Why is he smiling like that? It's because he knows, and so if we can just get there. I literally saw an orange cat earlier. So cat energy, pay attention to cat signs. You see a cat, if you have a cat, that's a good sign for your guides. A goddess or a Davy, fairy, something, an energy that wants to protect you will reach out to you through cats.
Wow, that's Rudy, Mel. I was just with her, and so she's obsessed with her little cat. So it's a black cat. Awesome, beautiful. Perfect. So I'll take the next one, and it's Danger Trips. Am I in sync with my path? All right, so Danger Trips, are you in sync with your path? That's a very interesting question, because can we not be in sync with our path? I mean, I guess, we all have to go through our lessons. And so be gentle with yourself. I think that's a big thing for a lot of us, is that we think we're doing the wrong things, but we just have to learn our lessons. So are you in sync with your path? And this is from my Wild Unknown tarot deck. The Sun. Oh, I think so. I think, Danger Trips, that you don't have anything to worry about. Just keep chasing the sun. Keep going outside, spending time with the sun. That is really going to be your key. you know, a lot of times we don't realize how nourishing the sun is. So maybe there's something to be grateful for, and just being more in gratitude so that you can feel a little bit more confidence in your path, knowing that if maybe you're not exactly where you want to be, it's not necessarily about the destination, but it's about the journey, right? And so Danger Trips, I do feel like the sun here just has a special message saying, hey, just if you spend time out in the sun, you're on your path. You know, if you're indoors and you don't go out for 5 days, okay, maybe you strayed a little bit, you know, but definitely going outside. The world is also here on the bottom of the deck for you. And so I just feel that there is an end of a cycle here. Again, don't beat yourself up if you're healing and things like that. It takes time. And once you feel like you kind of charged your batteries a little more, then I think that you will be able to feel a little bit more confident. And I'll pick one more card from my Oracle deck for you. All right, Danger Trips. So message from the Oracle deck. We have Full Moon Temple, celebration, peak, transcendent moment. So again, this is just saying, hey, you know, you might have been feeling like you're a little off or something like that, but the full moon, or just full moons in general, is just a really good way to release whatever it is that's been plaguing you for that month or plaguing you for that year, whatever it is, because this can help you just transcend any negative feelings. And so we have the full moon, we have the sun. I feel like you're on a path of just finding that inner balance, which is what we've been talking about in this prophecy, finding that male and female harmony within you. And yeah, so that would be a good sign for you. Full moon, you know, bathing and sun bathing.
I love it. I love it, actually. It's like a good balance. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to do it right now. That's awesome. I love it. Any more questions, y'all?
Yeah, so Hemachandra Jagannath.
I got to. Success in your business. Okay, let's see.
And if you guys, we have some more time. Obviously, if there's not anyone else who wants them, we'll just pull some for the collective in the end. But we'd love to, you know, help you guys out. So we're here. Utilize us.
Yes. All right, this is for Hema. Definitely your business will become successful if you sort of see it as a growing experience. Maybe you having this business is like the last step that you need to have that full on maturity where you can be as successful as you want to be. So, and you know that though. Look at Alice. She went down that rabbit hole and she had to experience some things, but it was like a great journey. And she was uncertain at first, but remember, look, there's a Cheshire Cat again. You have your guides there with you, and this is a growing experience. And it might feel, at first, your business might feel like it's going like this, but that's a test. There might be like because like Alice has to jump into the hole first. And so she's like, oh my God. You know, she's falling. And so you have to kind of do that. And this is actually momentum. You got to keep your momentum going with your business. And so let's get like a little bit more detailed. Let's see.
I'm just saying, Dainichi Lazuli just joined. If you're still here, hello. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Okay, so, and then I pulled the reverse Two of Swords. Make sure you're not just, like I said, you need to have that momentum. So you're past that initiatory stage where you're, you know, observing, and it is time to kind of let go of the fear of past failures and to really listen to your heart about it. And I think you're going to be successful. It's just that you might be waiting on like some good news or something, and it might just don't feel like it has to rush or happen right now. Once again, like right now is about cultivating those seeds step by step. If it is a small business, and just sticking with it, because a lot is an upheaval right now. So if this is where you are, really get in touch with your emotions and do as much as you can to find the clarity and, you know, with your business, and you should be fine, but just be patient.
Nice. Beautiful. And I think that's, again, another message that we were hearing for this year. It's really, if you have felt like you have had delays and things like that, it's all a test of character, and it's all for you to become better and become more light, to become lighter. So next question.
Become lighter. Yeah.
Yes. I can't. Oh, the flower girl. I was like, what does it say? The flower girl. All right. What do I do if I keep manifesting for other people? I haven't had energy to get to things, and these ideas seem to go right into another's brain. Okay, so before I pull anything, I read this book. It was called Three Magic Words, and it talks about how we are all a universal subconscious mind. We all share one mind. No thought is original because it's all in this big mind, so to speak. And so we can tap in with these creative ideas, but if we don't manifest it, usually someone else is going to tap in. So it's not necessarily that you're manifesting for someone else. It's just that you're getting these creative sparks and you're not doing anything with them. So then other people have the same thought, right? And so again, I feel like the motto here is be gentle with yourself. Okay, when it's time for you to manifest something, it will be original, it will be yours, it will be, because no one can do it like you can. So even if someone does the same, let's say, idea or things like that, it's still not what you can do. That is the originality. The creative ideas, they come and go, but your unique soul, you have a special blueprint. So let's see, what do I do if I keep manifesting for other people? So what can you do? Okay, let's see. The flower girl. The Daughter of Cups. So, listen to your intuition right now. You're in a new, and we got the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this year has been very, I think you already wrote this, but it has been very tough for you. And it's really taking you to a very, maybe you feel very small right now, because the Page of Cups, they're beginning. And if you look, it's just this little,